You're wasting time on the wrong vegetables. Not because they taste bad, but because seed companies filled those racks with what ships well, not what grows best. Here are 10 crops that outperform the mainstream stuff, require less fuss, and solve problems you didn't know had answers. Number 10. Achocha, instead of cucumbers. This little beauty grows as far north as Zone 5 with a long enough season. Cucumbers are needy drama queens, powdery mildew, constant trellising, and half of humanity can't even digest them properly. You're playing plant nurse while hoping the harvest justifies the effort. Achocha grows like cucumber's competent cousin who actually read the manual. The fruits are crunchy with a mild flavor somewhere between cucumber and snap pea. Raw, they're crisp and refreshing. Cooked, they taste like roasted green peppers. They're extremely prolific once established, and the plants don't collapse mid-season from fungal disasters. Here's the real gift. Achocha is packed with vitamin C and has been used in traditional Andean medicine for centuries. The leaves make anti-inflammatory ointments, the fruit promotes blood purification, and the seeds can be brewed into tea that helps lower blood pressure. It's also useful for digestive issues and managing cholesterol. Maintenance is minimal. Plant it, trellis it, forget it. It doesn't cross with cucumbers or squash, making seed saving effortless. If cucumbers give you gut trouble or garden grief, Achocha solves both. Number 9. Yakan, instead of apple or pear trees. It grows in Zone 5 to 10 and is perennial in Zones 8 and up. You want fresh, sweet snacks from the garden, so you plant fruit trees. Then you wait 5 to 7 years for a real harvest, while managing pruning, pests, and the dawning realization that you've committed to a permanent structure that might outlive your interest in the property. Yakan gives you the same crisp, sweet experience in one season. And here's the kicker. It's perennial. The storage roots taste like a cross between apple, pear, and watermelon with a crunchy texture, and they get sweeter after curing. The plant itself is huge and productive, but only takes a few feet of garden space. No ladder, no permanent footprint, no waiting half a decade, and because it's a perennial, you save the crowns once and you're set for years. That's the kind of efficiency fruit trees can't touch. The health benefits are even better than the convenience. Yakan is loaded with fructooligosaccharides, FOS, a prebiotic fiber that feeds good gut bacteria, regulates blood sugar, and may help with weight management. It's been used in traditional medicine for diabetes treatment, constipation relief, and cholesterol reduction. The leaves make an antioxidant-rich tea with anti-inflammatory properties. Here's the trick. Yakan propagates from crown pieces, not the big tubers you eat. Save the crowns, and this perennial just keeps coming back. It's the garden sweet snack crop that isn't candy and doesn't need a fruit tree's commitment. Number 8. Udo, instead of asparagus. It grows in Zone 4 to 9. Asparagus takes 3 years to establish before you get a decent harvest. You're weeding, mulching, and waiting while the crowns build up energy. Then you finally get a few weeks of spears each spring before the window slams shut. Udo is a big, cold-hardy perennial that sends up tender spring shoots you eat like asparagus, but without the 3-year patience test. Once established, it's productive immediately. The shoots are often compared to asparagus in texture and use, but the plant itself is larger and more vigorous, and because it's a true perennial, you plant it once and harvest for years. That alone makes it worth the switch. The shoots taste mild and slightly nutty, perfect for tempura, stir-fries, or eating raw. Udo has been used in East Asian traditional medicine for its anti-inflammatory properties and as a digestive aid. People don't know it because it's common in Japan and Korea as a seasonal mountain vegetable, but it never became mainstream in Western gardens. It shows up in permaculture circles, but that's about it. If you're babying asparagus and wondering why it takes so long, Udo is the perennial spring crop that just works. Number 7. Skirret, instead of carrots and parsnips. It grows in zones, 4 to 9. Carrots are picky about soil. They need deep, loose tilth with no rocks or clumps, or they fork and twist into harvest frustration. Parsnips are the same, but slower. You're amending soil, sifting, and hoping the bed cooperates. Skirret is a forgotten European root crop with a sweet, nutty flavor like a cross between carrot and potato. And here's the game changer. It's perennial. Yield improves as the plant ages. The roots aren't uniform, which is exactly why they never fit modern grocery supply chains. They don't photograph well, so they got dropped from commercial agriculture and mostly disappeared from home gardens. But they grow in conditions that would make carrots sulk. The flavor is there, the texture is there, and you're not fighting soil structure every season. Plant it once, and it keeps producing year after year. The roots are sweet raw or cooked, and they get even sweeter with roasting. Skirret contains fiber, vitamins, and was historically valued as a natural sweetener before sugar became widespread. Europeans called it sugar root. It was also used medicinally for digestive issues and liver health. It's the old-school perennial root crop nobody sells, because it doesn't fit supermarket aesthetics. If you want a sweet root vegetable without the soil drama, and without replanting every year, skirret is the answer. Number 6. Oca, instead of potatoes. It grows in zone 5 to 9, and is even perennial in zone 9. Potatoes have issues: late blight, Colorado potato beetles, scab, and the constant question of whether you planted them deep enough or hilled them correctly. You're managing diseases and pests while hoping the tubers bulk up before frost. Oca is a highly productive Andean tuber with fewer classic potato problems. The tubers come in vibrant colors, pink, yellow, orange, white, and taste tangy when raw, like a lemony potato or water chestnut, then turn starchy and nutty when cooked. They're high in protein, vitamin C, potassium, iron, and tryptophan, nutritionally richer than regular potatoes. But here's the trick. Oca is day-length sensitive. It doesn't form tubers when you plant it. It forms tubers when the days shorten to around 12 hours of light. Most people treat it like a potato, plant it in spring, expect tubers in summer, and get nothing. Then they assume it doesn't work. The tubers form and fall as the photoperiod shifts. If you understand that, oca is a cheat code. If you don't, it's a mystery crop that underperforms. Once you know the timing, it's one of the most productive backup starches you can grow, and with its nutritional profile, it's worth the wait. Number 5. Krasnes instead of gourmet weirdness. It grows in zones 4 to 9. You want to grow something interesting, something that makes people ask questions. So you plant purple carrots or striped tomatoes, and they're fine, but they're not actually rare. They're just colorful versions of common crops. Krasnes, Chinese artichokes, are tiny, crunchy tubers that look like segmented grubs. They're easy to grow, harvest in fall and winter, and the tubers can stay in the ground until you're ready to dig them. Chefs love them because the texture and flavor, nutty, artichoke-like, are unique, but almost nobody grows them at home. And here's the best part. They're perennial. Plant them once, and they come back year after year with minimal effort. The reason they're unknown is simple. They look too odd for supermarkets. They don't ship well, they don't stack neatly, and they don't photograph like something people recognize as food. But if you grow them, you're producing something restaurants pay premium prices for and home gardeners almost never see. Krasnes are low in calories, high in fiber, and contain stachylose, a prebiotic carbohydrate that supports gut health. They've been used in traditional medicine for immune support and digestive wellness. You've seen these in fancy restaurants as a garnish or side. Almost nobody realizes you can grow this perennial in a backyard bed and harvest them all winter. Number 4. Caucasian spinach, instead of shade-tolerant greens. It grows in zones 3 to 6. Spinach hates summer. It bolts, turns bitter, and gives up the moment temperatures rise. If your garden is shady, regular spinach struggles even more because it wants decent light but not too much heat. A narrow window. Caucasian spinach, Hablitzia, is a perennial climbing leafy green with mild, spinach-like leaves that handle partial shade really well. It comes back every year and can become a serious producer once established. The plant climbs, so it uses vertical space instead of sprawling across beds. And because it's a perennial, you're not replanting every season, just harvesting. The leaves are tender with no bitterness, even when mature. They can be eaten raw in salads or cooked in soups, stir-fries, and pies. Caucasian spinach is extremely cold-hardy, down to -30 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas, and produces edible shoots and leaves very early in spring when almost nothing else is available. People don't know it because it's not a mainstream seed rack plant. It's mostly known in permaculture and perennial vegetable circles, so it never hit mass gardening culture. But it solves two problems at once: shade tolerance and perennial production. If your garden is shady and you're tired of forcing spinach to grow in conditions it hates, this is the perennial spinach that climbs and comes back every year. Number 3, Keltus instead of lettuce. Keltus grows in zones 4 to 9. Lettuce is mostly water wrapped in hype. You grow it, harvest it, and realize you just ate crunchy moisture with minimal nutrition. It's fine in salads, but it's not a serious vegetable. Keltus is grown specifically for the thick stem, which is crisp like celery or asparagus. You also get leaves, so it's a 2-for-1 crop. The stem is the main event. Crunchy, mildly nutty, and commonly used in East Asian cooking. But Western gardens focus on leaf lettuce and ignore the stem entirely. The stem tastes mild when raw and slightly sweet when cooked, perfect for stir-fries, pickles, or eating fresh. Keltus is rich in vitamins A, C, and K, as well as potassium and dietary fiber. It's more nutrient-dense than regular lettuce, and has been used in traditional Chinese medicine for digestive health. The reason it's unknown is because it doesn't fit the lettuce category most people understand. It looks like lettuce early on, but you let it grow tall and harvest the stem once it thickens. Most gardeners see it bolting and think it failed, when actually that's the whole point. Lettuce is the scam, Keltus is the upgrade, you eat the stem, and it's worth growing. Number 2, Mashua, instead of sweet potatoes. It grows in zones 7 and up. Sweet potatoes need heat, time, and specific soil conditions to bulk up tubers. If your season is short or your climate is marginal, they underperform. You're nursing them along and hoping the vines produce something edible before frost. Mashua is an Andean tuber that's photoperiod sensitive. It bulks up when days shorten, not during the long days of summer. People treat it like a normal tuber, expect summer production, and get disappointed. The plant is on a short-day schedule, and if you understand that, it's a cheat code. The tubers have a peppery, slightly spicy flavor when raw and become milder when cooked. They're high in vitamin C, protein, and antioxidants. Mashua has been used in traditional Andean medicine as an anti-inflammatory, diuretic, and even as a natural antibiotic. It's described as high-yielding in its traditional growing regions, but rare outside of Andean agriculture. The reason it's hidden knowledge is because the timing isn't intuitive. The tubers don't form until fall when the photoperiod shift. If you understand the short day trigger, it's one of the most productive weird tubers you can grow. If you don't, it's confusing and seems like it doesn't work. Number 1, ground cherries instead of tomatoes. They grow in zones 4 to 8. Tomatoes are high maintenance. You're pruning, staking, tying, clipping suckers, dealing with blight, blossom end rot, and cracking. The plants need constant attention, and the harvest window is short before something goes wrong. Ground cherries are ridiculously productive once they take off, dropping dozens to hundreds of little fruits. They need way less babysitting than tomatoes. No constant pruning, no elaborate support systems. The fruits come in their own natural wrapper, a husk that keeps them cleaner and reduces damage. They taste like a tropical blend of pineapple, mango, and tomato, sweet, tangy, and complex. They often self-seed, so next year you might get free plants without doing anything. The fruits are rich in vitamin C, vitamin A, beta-carotene, and antioxidants like withanolides, which have anti-inflammatory properties. Ground cherries have been used in traditional medicine for immune support and as a natural diuretic. People don't grow them because they're not a big supermarket crop. The fruits are small, delicate, and not uniform, so they don't fit commercial agriculture. Most people never hear about them unless they're into rare garden stuff or seed-saving communities. Ground cherries are the lazy gardener's tomato candy that grows itself. You plant them, let them go, and they produce without drama. These aren't miracle crops, just crops that don't fit the seed rack. But they fit real gardens. More yield, less drama, fewer inputs. Pick 2, plant them this season, and compare them to what you normally grow. Then decide what's actually worth your time. See you in the next one.